students, in this tutorial we're going to be looking at the 2020 specimen paper. Okay, so we'll look at section A, which is multiple choice. So let's get started with question number 1. Which one of the following changes is only associated with puberty in females? Okay, meaning all the options are things associated with puberty, but here they just want something that is associated with females. So if you can see the options here, females, it will be breast growth. Okay, the rest are for the boys. Question 2. The following are the organs in the male reproductive systems of human beings. You have 1 penis, 2 urethra, 3 epididymis, and 4 the testes. In which order is the correct sequence of movement of the semen during ejaculation? Okay, so during ejaculation, multiple choice, you can actually eliminate answers so that you don't waste your time. So we know that ejaculation, the penis should be the last thing, so 1 should be the last thing, meaning already I will eliminate A and D, so I have to choose between B and C. Okay, after the penis, it should be the urethra. Okay, then let's see, urethra. Okay, so B and C are still there. Then now what to differentiate is which one comes first between the epididymis and the testes. So remember, sperms are stored in number 3. Okay, and number 3 is enclosed in the testes, so meaning the order should be 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, that's C. Okay, but they just put it the other way around. Okay, let's move to the next questions. Okay, there. 3. Rickets is a nutritional deficiency disease caused by lack of dash in diet of a growing child. So they are always going to ask this question, and each year they will ask a different type of disease. So we know that rickets is as a result of lacking vitamin D. Sometimes they are going to ask you on night blindness, which is vitamin A. Other times they are going to ask you on the goiter. Goiter is lack of what? Iodine, and so on and so forth. So meaning you need to know all the nutrients and the the nutrients, which is carbohydrates, the proteins, the fats, the vitamins, okay, their functions, their sources, and their deficiency diseases. Question 4. Which of the following is not an example of ways of preventing pollution of the environment? Take note, the key word here is not. Okay, so let's see. Okay, A to C are ways you can actually reduce on pollution, but barring the plastic bottles used for soft drinks is not a solution. Remember that plastic is non-biodegradable. If you want, you can do an experiment. Let's say if you live in a house where you know you're not shifting, if you live in at your house, your personal house, you can try to bury that yellow plastic bag from ShopRite, let's say for even just a year or 2 years, 5 years if you want, if you remember. Bury it maybe in the backyard and dig it after a year. See if it will decompose. It will be exactly the same way you buried it. So burying is definitely not a way. Instead, we need to reuse, reduce, and recycle. Okay, I hope it's clear there. Number 5, the diagram below shows an animal cell. Identify the part labeled N. Actually, let's just identify all the parts here. You're supposed to be able to label an animal and a plant cell. On top of that, you should be able to differentiate between an animal and a plant cell. Also, in line with that, you're supposed to be able to name the parts that are only found in a plant cell. So back to our question, L is the cell membrane, M is the nucleus, and N is the cytoplasm. So our answer is C there. Question 6. The term geotropism refers to the movement of a part of a plant in response to gravity. Okay, chemicals, it is known as chemotropism. Light, it's phototropism. And D, water, it is hydropism. So our answer there is B, gravity. Okay. 7. Which one of the following is the correct symbol for ion atom? So you're supposed to know the first 20 elements in terms of their chemical symbols from the periodic table, because there's always going to be a question that is either going to ask you in section B to write down the symbols of one or two atom, or they're going to give you multiple choice to pick which option is the correct one in response to the atom they're going to give you. So I'll just name all of them for you there. H is hydrogen, I is iodine or iodine, Fe is iron, Al is aluminium. So you're supposed to know the first 20 elements. I think for the April lessons, I had given an assignment for people to actually write down the first 20 elements and master them. Because when you go to grade 10 again, you actually need these things. It will be a branch now called chemistry. But for now, you just stick to the symbols. Question 8. A stone of mass 10 kg on Earth with a gravity of 10 meters per second squared is taken to the moon for an experiment on weight. What will be its mass and weight on the moon if the acceleration due to gravity at the moon is 1.6 meter per second squared? So one thing you need to know is mass remains constant regardless of where you go. What changes is the weight. So whether you go to Mercury, Jupiter, wherever you go, your mass will be the same, but your weight differs. So here, you can actually eliminate from this thing we've just established that mass is constant, meaning the mass should be 10. So C and D is eliminated, you remain with question A and B. Then how do you calculate weight? Weight, you just simply multiply the mass and acceleration due to gravity. So acceleration due to gravity is 1.6 and the mass there is 10 kg. So we multiply 10 by 1.6 and the answer will be 16 newtons. So our answer is A. Okay. Question 9. A metal object of mass 100 grams was placed in water as shown in the diagram below. So I have the first diagram there, okay, with water that is 25 cubic centimeters in volume. And when a metal object was lowered in this 25 cubic centimeter volume of water, the water increased, rather the volume changed to 75 cubic centimeters. So such questions will always come, both section A and section B. What you need to do here is to know the volume is to subtract the final volume minus the initial volume. The initial volume is the volume before you put anything in the beaker, which is 25, and volume 2, or the final volume, is the volume that you get after you put whatever object is there. So our volume will be simply 75 minus 25, which is 50 cubic centimeters. Calculate the volume and density of the metal object used in the experiment. The correct volume and density of the metal object is, we've already calculated the volume, it will be 75 minus 25, which is 50. So our answer is just B, you see. Sometimes you don't even need to think so much, it's B there. Okay, then how do you find density? Density is equal to mass over volume. Okay, mass is 100 grams and volume is 50. 50 into 100 is 2. So our answer is B. Okay, let's move on to our next question. Okay, let me just wait for it to be clear. Okay, study the diagram showing a metallic bridge constructed over a river. Okay, so you have a metallic bridge there. So if you see, this bridge on your left side, okay, it is mounted, the bridge is mounted, but if you see on the right side there where P is, they left a space. Okay, so one end of the bridge was fixed while the other end was not fixed to the surface at the point marked P, just like I was explaining. This is to allow, so this is usually done to allow, you know, metals when it's hot, they expand. So they need to leave a small space so that when it expands, it won't, if they didn't leave space, the walls they built around would crack because of the friction. But because of this space, when it expands, it will just, it will have enough room for expansion. So let's look for that answer. The bridge to expand due to heat. Okay, our answer is C, right there. Question 11. Which of the following is a correct function of blood plasma? So the function of blood plasma is to transport water, body waste, and food nutrients. A. Question 12. The list below shows organs found in the human respiratory system. We did the respiratory system in the April class. So if you are just joining now, you just go to YouTube and to my YouTube channel and search for the video on the respiratory system. Which of the following sequence is the correct order of the passage of air during inhalation? So inhalation is breathing in, right? So breathing in will have to start from the nostrils. The answer has to start with 4. So we eliminate A and C. 4. After the nostrils, it should pass through the trachea, which is 1. So 4, 1. Okay, our answer is there. You see how you work out multiple choice? The answer is D, without any stress. Okay. 13. To reduce the spread of HIV and AIDS, one needs voluntary counseling and treatment, which is VCT. Which of the following is not the importance of VCT? So if you check the original ECZ past paper, note is even highlighted. It's darker than the other letters to tell you to tell you that, to emphasize on the note rather. Okay, so which one is not the importance of VCT? You go for VCT to know your status, to avoid reinfection, and to live positively with others, with one status. You don't go for VCT to prevent unintended pregnancy. Yeah, so the answer is C there. Study the diagram representing the nitrogen cycle. So again, for the April classes, we did cycles of the biosphere. We did the nitrogen cycle, carbon cycle, and the water cycle. We answered questions from past papers on questions concerning these cycles, and you can revise through by watching them on my YouTube channel. You find them there. Which chemical compound is found at position marked P and R in the diagram? So for these ones, you need to master what is, how the cycle goes. So from what we discussed from textbooks or the video that was earlier presented, P should be ammonia and R should be nitrates. Okay. Which of the following is a correct example of cross-breeding? So cross-breeding is simply an exercise that is taken in agriculture between similar species to get a breed that is advanced in terms of resistance to disease and in terms of producing better milk, maybe grain or meat. It has to be done between similar species. So, self-pollination, no. Breeding, no. The answer is C, selective breeding between similar species. Okay. We move to question number 16. Which of the following equations best describes the process of photosynthesis? So this question, most times it comes in section B, where you'll be actually asked now to write down the equation on your own. So it is D. Water plus carbon dioxide in the presence of light and chlorophyll produces glucose and oxygen. Okay. Study the following chemical reaction between sodium chloride and silver nitrate. So when you react sodium chloride plus silver nitrate, it produces silver chloride plus sodium nitrate. What name is given to such a chemical reaction? Okay, so this is a double replacement reaction. Okay, so I think I will make a video specifically on chemical reactions on the types so that we understand. So all these here types, but this particular one here is double replacement. I think we'll look at this in the next video. 18. The diagram below shows type of lens. So I have two types of lens. So I have this one here and another type, which, so if they don't bring you this, they bring you another type. I'm not so good with drawing, but the other type is like this. Yeah, something like that. So this is called a convex lens. And then what we have here is a concave lens. What we have here is used in telescopes, and what I drew here is used in cameras. You are going to learn more about this in biology when you get to grade 10. Is it grade 10 or grade 11? But it's in biology under the eye. When you start looking at diseases of the eye, you're going to learn about these lenses and you understand what I'm saying now. For now, just know that concave is used in telescopes and this convex is used for cameras. Also, this same one is used to correct short sight, and this one here is used to correct long sight. For now, that's enough for you. Okay, let's look at question number 19. Which of the following best explains what energy is? Energy is simply the ability to do work. So there are certain terms that you need to know how to define in at grade 9 science level. And one of those is energy. You also have, you need to know how to define energy, mass, an atom, a molecule, what pressure is, what is weight, what is mass, what is power. Okay, I don't know if there's any word I forgot which one you need to define, but yes, those I've listed, and others I've forgotten to mention here. So the last question under multiple choice: calculate the pressure exerted on the ground by a metal object on an area of 0.50 meters squared if its weight is 200 newtons. The pressure will be, okay, so this one we need to do the calculations. Okay, so pressure is given by force over area. Okay, my pen is I don't know what's happening. So what is our force? Our force is 200 newtons over, what is our area? Our area is 0.50. Now this is math basically. Okay, so how do you solve, how did you divide a whole number by a decimal number? So when you have a decimal number and a whole number, you work it out by simply counting the number of decimal places in your decimal number. Decimal places are simply numbers after the decimal point. So how many decimal places are here? 2. So meaning you multiply both the numerator and denominator by 100. If there was one decimal place, you multiply by 10. If there are 3, you divide by 1000. So I'm going to multiply this by 100 and that 2 by 100, which meaning here you just add 2 zeros. This will become 20,000 over, this will become 50. You can cancel this and this. 5 into 20, that's 4. 5 into 0, 0. 5 into 0, 0. Okay, so the answer is 400 newtons per meter squared. The other unit for pressure is pascals. So I could have written this also as, if it was section B, 400 pascals like this. Okay, That brings us to the end of section A questions. So like I always say, for you to be safe with all this, you need to ensure that you revise at least 10 years from where you are, 10 years in terms of past papers. And by that, I mean you should do both internal and external papers. So at least you go all the way up to 2013, because 2013 is when your syllabus was actually changed. So you revise from 2024 GCE and internal all the way up 2013. Okay, these things are practical. It's not just math where you have to solve every day. People get it wrong. They think, oh no, math is the one I'm supposed to practice every day. You're supposed to balance your subjects. All subjects are equally important, only that math will require a little more practice, but that doesn't mean you should put aside the other subjects. Okay, like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel.